refine this lesson just really quickly here. If you own some kind of a business, right, and you're selling a product or you're doing some kind of service, and your competitor, or a competitor moves in next to you, and that competitor starts getting all kinds of subsidies, right, from the government or from wherever, whatever they're doing, and they keep lowering their prices to basically buy the market, right? They're buying up the market by offering a lower and lower price because of their subsidies, right? Well, then how do you compete against a competitor that especially if they have endless subsidies, such as like government subsidies, or money that they're literally printing? I mean, what if they own a printing press, a rotary offset printing press in their basement, and they're just printing a bunch of money, so therefore they can just lose money in perpetuity, right? What chance do you have against them? You don't. You don't have a prayer against them. This is how the labor market is being manipulated, right? So for those of you out there, because I know there's a bunch of young people doing these videos, they're like ghost jobs, and they're talking about all this kind of stuff. And it's, yes, that's all true. It's all been a thing. I mean, I've covered it a couple of years ago, actually. I covered the whole ghost job thing, where companies are just creating jobs to make it look like they're growing, because they have to make it look like they're doing something. That's why Amazon, for example, is telling everybody to go back to the office. They're like, yeah, God damn it, you people need to come back here and work at the office. And the reason they're doing it is because they have to give the illusion that commercial real estate still has some kind of value, because CRE is fucking done, dude. Who wants to go work at any of these fucking buildings? Nobody. Nobody wants to work in those buildings. Most of them are empty now. And that's filtering out everywhere now, because many of those jobs weren't real to begin with. They were just sort of make work type jobs that companies sort of invented because they could at the time. Now they don't need that stuff. Now what they need is they need guys to like build shit. They need the guys to go out there and do all the work that nobody else wants to do. And so you've got a bunch of Americans that were told that, well, no, I'm going to work at an office and not do anything outside. I'm not going to play outside anymore. And unfortunately, like, this is where Americans have to say no. I mean, the market has shifted. Now you need to actually, do all these jobs that nobody else wants to do, because that's the whole point of a job, right? I mean, the point of a job is to be productive, and the reason it's called work is because it's not called happy fun time. Happy fun time is not work, right? So if your labor market is being subsidized, you bring in a bunch of illegals, you bring in a bunch of migrants, you bring in a bunch of, or what Trump wants to do, he wants to bring in a bunch of legals. It's the same basic thing. You're diluting the labor pool that should be going up. I mean, younger people should be making lots of money right now, and older people should be losing tons of money, because most of that money didn't really exist anyway. That was just money they kept putting into this, the casino, the stock market casino. They keep putting money into it, and so it looks like there's all this growth. But and I've said this for a long time, go try and cash in. Go. If 20% of boomers, if 20% of you decided tomorrow morning to cash in all your chips and say, that's it, I'm taking all this money out of the stock market, they would start creating laws that says you can't do that. I'm not kidding. You think that whole, all those laws that they created like instantly because of TikTok, they got a bill through like record time because of TikTok. You think that's fast? 20% of you go start trying to take all your cash out of the casino and start to use it. Watch how quickly that bill's probably already written. It's probably already in somebody's desk, and they're just ready to go to stamp it, and that's the end of it, because you'll start exposing the Ponzi scheme. Remember, if you've found me at any point, most, about, I don't know, 6,000 or 7,000 of you found me from the math catching up video. If you understand how this works, right? Ponzi schemes work great until everybody shows up and says, okay, hey, I'm gonna cash in and take all my winnings. Then it becomes real. Then it's like, uh-oh. You all saw Wolf of Wall Street or something like that, right? You've all seen that scene where you've got the McConaughey character telling the DiCaprio character, hey, you just keep coming up with ideas to keep people putting money into the system. You never really, you don't want them taking it out, because as soon as they take it out, it's real. If 20% of you did that, I mean, yeah, they'd start making laws. They'd start coming up, they would conjure shit out of nothing and say, well, you can't take that out, but you can borrow against it. Yeah. That's just how it works, right? It's in other words, keep creating more debt, creating more debt, creating more debt. So, yeah, I mean, this is what's happening in the labor market. So for those of you out there, for you younger, because I'm talking to the younger people, I can't even talk to the older people anymore. They're too far fucking gone, okay? Rent seekers and boomers, I can't even have a conversation with them anymore because they're too far gone and they don't understand the currency. They were towering financial geniuses because they bought a house when Wang Chung was in the top fucking 40, right? So now they are towering goddamn geniuses and you can't tell them any different. Right? They don't understand that it's actually inflation. Inflation is what made them rich on paper. Go try and cash that shit in and do something with it. Watch how quickly it doesn't really exist. Yeah, it's fake. Okay. Nominal value is just fictional value until and if you guys want to test me on this one, for you guys that think I'm anti-free market, dude, I'm like hardcore free market. I get people accusing me of this shit too, think I'm anti-free market. Dude, I'm like hardcore free market. Put everything on eBay, 99 cents, no reserve, and find out how much that shit's really worth. You're gonna find out that most of your apartment buildings, your real estate investments, your farmland, everything is basically worth nothing. Try that shit. You'll find out very quickly. On an open, actual free market, dude, most things aren't worth anything that what you think they are. But when you manipulate the shit out of it, then you have this major problem. Labor does have value because it is a market, by the way. And labor is in fact a market. That's why they call it a labor market. And in business, you compete for two things. And you'll never hear this at any of the business schools you go to. You're not going to hear this at an MBA class. Okay. You compete for two things. What are they? You compete for customers and you compete for employees. You have to compete for both of those things. Unless you just do it yourself. Okay, well then you compete for customers, but then you're just a small business, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, we need more of that. We need a lot more of that. We need a lot more people that start to think like that and start, making things at their own property and everything, on their own house, in their own machine shops or something like that. And of course, then there's the idea that, well, where do I get a machine shop? How do I get a property? Yeah, exactly. This is why they've done this. It's done. I mean, I've been saying this for a long time now, but, rent seeking and all of the so-called investment properties out there, that's done more damage to American birth rates than feminism. Because feminism goes away instantly as soon as she finds a guy with security. Security is just code for money. As soon as she finds a guy with security, then all that feminist shit goes right out the fucking window, right? Dude, every guy knows this. I mean, for real. I mean, anybody who sticks with me this long and stuff is probably a guy anyway, so I can say whatever the fuck I want at this point. But yeah, I mean, men know this. Right. As soon as she finds somebody who actually has some money and can take care of her, and she can, do what she wants to do, and then have a couple of kids and so on, and not feel all stressed about money. Yeah, all that feminist shit fucking goes out the window. There isn't a woman out there that if Elon Musk said, "I want to marry you," would drop everything, right? I'm speaking, somewhat, casually on that, but I mean, like, just understand that there's a lot of truth to that. Okay, it's where the stereotype comes from. It's because there is a lot of truth to that. There's a reason why there's an entire business model of women out there trying to trap NBA players into getting them pregnant, and then getting $50,000 a month or whatever it is for child, Eddie Murphy level child support, or Brendan Fraser level alimony, or who was the other guy that got fucking just fucking hog fucked? I don't remember. It was just one of these fucking celebrity douchebags that just got destroyed because of this. I mean, wasn't it even like Adele had to deal with that stuff in the reverse situation? Anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's what they're after. So I hope you learned something from all this. Bye.